if this is your first time here, I hope that you find comfort in just hanging out with me and hearing the discussions that I like to have with my friends, the discussions that I have with myself, and just generally how I like to go about life because life is already too serious. So I try to make sure I don't make my life overly complicated. Okay. And that reflects in the conversations I have and in trying to find solutions and talking about what we can do, what I can do in order to bring about change, good change, whether it's to my community or just for myself. I like to have those discussions because, like I said, life is already too difficult. And if I can get a response from that person on how to make my life a lot easier or to be more friendly and more joyous, I will always do that and I'll always have those conversations. So welcome to my channel. My name is Aidi Tanndy, and I am your host for this Sunday live shows called Healthy Bands with Aidi. I call it healthy bands because it's like I want to banter with my friends or just with the people that I bring on here as guests. I want to talk to them about just mundane things on in life or serious things in life that is affecting our society in Nigeria, in Akwa Ibom, or wherever else my guests are from in Nigeria. I also like to interview and talk to people who are innovative or who are founders and they're building solutions, especially solutions to local problems. I want to talk to those people. So if you know anyone, whether the person is well known or they are working on some amazing products, and you just want them to talk about these products or to talk, get the world to get to know them. So please recommend those people in the comments or um, just find me on social media and tag me or tag those people to any of my posts and I'll see it. With that said, today I'm really excited because I get to talk to a person I consider my brother, someone who is also from Akwa Ibom State. I'm from Akwa Ibom State in Nigeria, and this person, this guest that will come on I think he will join me in 30 minutes. He will join me in 25 minutes now, but he will join me at 7:30 Nigerian time. And he is the founder of uh, a wonderful, wonderful initiative called Didiya. And Didiya means in Akwa Ibom State, Didiya is sort of like inviting somebody to come and eat. When you say Didiya or Didianpo, it simply means come and eat. Umpo is food, the thing, whatever is being served. So that's where the name Didiya comes from. And I am excited because not only is this person from Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria, where I'm from, and really proud to come from that, to come from a place like that with such people and such culture, but he he's also a Nigerian who just wants to see Nigeria better. If not change, like obviously one person cannot change all of the horrible situation that the country is currently facing. However, we can always do something in our little corner. We can always do something in our little space. There is no such thing as oh there's nothing I can do, or like this problem is so overwhelming that absolutely no solution or absolutely nothing can be done about it. I don't believe in those sorts of philosophies, and I do not see life like that. So I'm always excited and very pumped to talk to people who are who are minded, people who are also thinking in that way, in that direction, thinking in terms of there's something I can do in my little corner, thinking in terms of there's something I can contribute to, and finding ways, leveraging the skills that you already have, leveraging the skills that they have, like learned all of these years, and putting those skills into solutions, using those skills that they've built to build solutions that people can benefit from. And I get excited really to talk to those people just to know like what inspired this idea. Okay, so that's what we're going to do today with the founder of Didiya. Excuse me, his name is James Udom, and whenever he comes on here, we will have time to talk about, other aspects of his life and everything else. Any questions that you would like to ask, just to get to know who this founder is. That is why I'm here. Okay. If there is any products, if there is any producer in Nigeria that you would like to, you think their products or their initiative or their solution is so good that you just want to get to know who these people are, please, please, please leave their names in the comment section, and I will find them, and I'll find out if they're able to come on here and talk to us about who they are and possibly what else they're working on. So, with that said, today we are going to be discussing, or this guest I'm having on, who will be talking about the food wastage, crisis in Nigeria. In as much as we have food crisis in terms of it seems like there is not enough supply of food. There is not enough food for people to purchase, and even if there is there is availability of what you're looking for, it comes at really expensive cost, right? So what this initiative, what Didia is working on, or what they're proposing and they're hoping to achieve, is a means or a platform where you can go on there as a family, you can go on this platform as an individual, and you can purchase food for, oh, I don't know if it's going to be less than half the price, the current market price, or it's going to be way cheaper, but it's going to be at discounted rates. And not only is this going to help so many families that are currently having to go hungry, to be able to afford food, because that's another thing. If there is food but you can't afford it, then there's what's the point, right? You still starve. So but what Didia is doing, or what their vision, their plan is, essentially, is to help connect food vendors, people who are producing in large quantities of food, right? But they're not able to immediately sell those foods whenever they're still in great top shelf condition. They want to connect these vendors and food manufacturers to actual people who would benefit from these foods, but they're not able to get it in time. So these food vendors, instead of throwing away this food, because that's what they would have to do, right? A lot of the food vendors, a lot of the people who produce food in the food industry, they have to dispose of their bulk production or whatever leftovers they have. I believe they are legally supposed to do that, because whenever food starts to approach the end of their shelf life, obviously it's bad. It could get people sick. It could get companies sued, and companies don't want to deal with that. Okay, so what they would do is they would dispose of these foods, like they would throw them away, literally just go dump them in wherever, like the landfills or wherever they throw away food. So again, now they're putting back this food that could have been feeding thousands or even hundreds of either kids at orphanages, or people in the first responders, people, whether they're firefighters or people in the army or whatever. These foods could feed these people, kids that are in underrepresented communities could be fed using these foods, but because they are legally supposed to dispose of, you know, whatever leftovers they have, that's what happens. So what Didier is proposing is, if we can connect these food vendors so that before their food even gets bad, whenever they have a leftover, they have surplus of what they need to sell or what they need to supply, whenever they have the fresh surpluses that are still good and still edible, they could be connected to people who actually need the food. which I think is a brilliant idea. I think it's a brilliant solution. But I'm also very interested to know how they plan to go around with the logistics system in Nigeria. Like we know, Nigeria does not have the best logistics network. Nigeria doesn't have a postal service, a national postal service where you can say, okay, if you buy something here, you know for a fact that that thing will get delivered to you, by a trusted person. You know that that thing will get delivered to you without somebody prying into your package, right? You can always trust that you because there will be some level of security. There will be some level of um, at least the people who are being hired by the government, hopefully, to work these sort of services, they will have some background check, some special background check, so that we know who is handling people's packages, whether they are intimate packages or not. So Nigeria doesn't have that. So I'm very interested to hear from this founder about what their plans are, or if they have any challenges in that regard with logistics. So these are the things that are on my mind, as this is such a great initiative. This is such a great way for the people who need the food, but they cannot afford the high prices to be able to afford to buy food. But at the same time, they're not. I have my guest here. Yay. Oh, he's
And
here.
I know you're surprised. You didn't expect to see me by
I
this
did not
time.
expect to see you so early. I've been talking to everyone that is here, all three of you that is here, about the need for this solution, this initiative, Didiya, and how much I am in support of it, and I hope that every other person who gets to hear about this and get to know you as the founder, that we can all just be excited and just support you, rally around what Didiya is doing. So, welcome, James.
Yeah, thank you, Heidi. I said I was going to come like 30 minutes later, but my previous meeting sort of finished earlier than proposed. So I'm like, okay, why
Good,
not? Let me
good,
jump right
good,
in
good.
and let's get it done.
Yeah,
So excited to be hanging out with you.
same here, same here.
Of
Really
course.
welcome. I hope you're having a good Sunday.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
Like it.
Good, good, good. Okay, well, so let's just dive into it, because the first thing I like to do whenever I have a guest on here, apart from the fact that um, most people already know that I'm talking to folks from my town, Akwa State in Nigeria. So I would like to know, and where in Akwa are you from? Talk to the people about where in Akwa you're from. If you want to go down into the village you're from, hey, you're free. But I really just want people to get to understand and know you as the founder of this project, and also to see that really you are just one of us. Like, you're literally just a Nigerian who has been privileged to travel the world, and you've seen that things can be done in a better way, and you are trying to bring up this solution literally, so people can see that anybody can come up with a good solution for local problems. So, yeah, where are you from? Talk to us about that.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm from Akwa Ibom State, of course, in Nigeria.
Yes.
Kanafun local government area. My
Okay.
village, Gong Gong, like we say, is Ikoretim. And if,
Ikonetu Kanafun.
yeah, if you go
Yeah.
down again, there's what we call Epok in Anang. So my Epok
Yeah. Yeah.
is
Yeah. 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 Your
is
tribe. That's
Ntokure.
Ekpogis.
Epok
Eh?
is like the extended family kind of thing.
Oh,
You
like
know,
your
where you
your
have like
your
your
kin.
uncles, your great grandparents, all in that one extended kind of extended family before you now
Okay.
bring it down to the nuclear family kind of thing. So
So
yeah,
you're quite true and true.
100%, of course.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so talk to us about how it was. Just you know, growing up. What? Because I'm trying to understand, where do you go from? I know you are in supply chain because we're friends outside of here, and Anywhere that looks up your professional life will see that you've been in supply chain for the longest time in your career. So before we even get to supply chain, like talk to us about just upbringing, growing up in Akwa Ibom, growing up in Nigeria. Um, how was that? Like, and again, relating to food wastage. Did you see any of it? Was that something that you grew up seeing and you were like, there could be a better way to do this, or did that just come up recently?
Yeah, I mean, for me, growing up was, I mean, fun and, childhood kind of life, community kind of life, Nigeria, Akwa even my LGA is big on community, unlike like maybe the Western world where you have like a bunch of kind of individualistic kind of life.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say I had so much fun within community. So we could play like with kids like peer group or, student groups right from primary
Yes.
school. You go to school in groups, you come back in groups, and then
Mm-hmm.
you have like you gather to do assignments in groups in primary
Yes.
school, and then
Yes.
after that, all of you, sort of your parents want you all to go to the same secondary school in group. I went to Queen of Apostle Seminar, and then I also had some of my closest friends from even the village come there with me, and yeah, it was fun. I mean, just the average Nigerian family, go to church, do chores at home. You misbehave, you get disciplined by your
Are you
mom and
from
your
a big
dad.
family?
Am I from a big family? Yeah,
Yes.
because there is always uncle, auntie, that kind of thing. You always have cousins, this kind of family where you have like 800 cousins, even the ones, even the ones you don't know.
I know. And then, no, but the thing is, I really enjoyed it though, because Christmas time is when I got to hang out with all of my cousins and
Hmm.
aunties and people that I've not seen. And that was the best time to actually misbehave, in my opinion, because that's you could take refuge, with auntie or uncle, and mommy will not beat you. As soon as holiday was over,
Yeah,
everybody went back to behaving.
yeah.
That's funny. Okay. Well, so growing up was really, filled with community and love and everybody looking out for each other. How did we go from there to Didiya? How do we go from that sort of childhood that sounds like, frankly, when you are growing up in that sort of community, people don't really go hungry because there's always somewhere you can go have a meal. So how do you go from a lot has changed. When I was growing up, I grew up in that sort of community as well, where everybody looked out for everybody, and it seemed like we always had food, right? However, looking back now and just over the years, it seemed we're growing. Everybody's growing towards that individualistic. Let me just look out for myself and my immediate family. Nobody really cares about, I mean, outside of inflation and all of these economic factors. How did we go from those days, which it seems like we had less resources, it seems, or less exposure? How do we go from then to now, where we are talking of food crisis and food wastage and food shortages and all that?
Yeah, so for me, the idea of DDI is like a culmination of different experiences. So growing up in the average Nigerian family, I mean, food was not really a problem. And whenever we had like maybe excess food back then in our home, we used to have goats. We used to rear goats back home, so we can
Hmm.
always give that to the goats. And at other time, based on the communal kind of lifestyle, you can like share that to people in church if you have extra, even at that your level, or maybe share it to your neighbors. But a lot has changed over time because individualism is also running into Africa, running into Nigeria, and it's actually a big deal. So because of that, people don't want to do that again. Everybody's trying to keep their own thing to themselves because it could be misinterpreted. That's one side of the story.
Hmm.
The second side of the story is that I started like working in supply chain quite early. Started from after I finished from the university, engineering. So it was more like initially business development kind of role, and then integrating supply chain and quality management. So that sort of exposed me to supply chain, basic things like inventory management, forecasting. And one thing I learned very early in supply chain is that all forecasts are wrong. Why? Because demand and supply is uncertain. I mean, you
Mhm.
can forecast that you're going to get like 10 people today. But if there is rainfall, that's going to affect what you're doing. That's
Totally.
another part of the story, and that's like the career side of the story. But the biggest trigger was sometime this year in February. So I jumped into a Nigerian WhatsApp group, and then I see this video, and then I try to look at the video. You know, this kind of WhatsApp group, when you're in a Nigerian WhatsApp group, there's always sharing some very negative and
Mhm.
triggering kind of things.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
open up the video, and then there, right in the video, I see like people like running on top of each other, climbing fence, climbing the roof. And I'm really triggered. What is this about? Jumping down with bags of rice, maybe about 10 kg, 5 kg bags of rice kind of thing. And I'm like, what? I'm triggered. What's really going on? And then I watch that video to the end. And then I go online and then try to search what's happening. And then I discovered that the Nigerian Customs Service, they had like so much seized rice, and they wanted to like sell that to resell it to people at a subsidized rate, I think some 50% discount. And then they sort
Mhm.
of called everyone to come on, hey, come on, buy rice. And then people came around, and then that thing led to a stampede. So people ended up not buying the rice. A bulk of the rice were destroyed. And then some people died. I can't really quote the exact number now, but that information is a public information. Sometime February this year, people died. So the so when you add these three events I've shared now together, the childhood part of it, the career part of it, and then these triggering events in February, I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, so what can we do to redistribute inventory? So it
Yeah.
actually means that there are people who have so much food, and then there are others who do not have. So that
Yes.
means there is something missing. So it was more about me bringing my expertise in supply chain, and then marrying that with my childhood memory, and then using this trigger, which was so depressing, as all of the motivation I need to be able to
Mm.
say, okay, so what solution can we bring up that can
Perfect.
solve this whole problem of food waste? Because there is food, but it is getting wasted. So how do we get that food to the people that need it? So because you have like 40% of food is getting wasted, but over 25 million people are starving. There's a
It makes
disconnect there.
there is
So
a disparity.
yeah, so that's like the story, putting it together. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much for breaking that down, and that you would think, that's enough to inspire people, but this is just you, one person, and obviously you have a team of people that you're working with.
Hmm.
Um, these are what I like to say, good-hearted Nigerians who, because this solution, it's not, they're not saying, "Oh, I'm hungry, I need surplus food, so how can I?" That's not what you're saying, and you're not also doing this because you want your family members to have access to surplus food. Again, and the reason I'm breaking it down, in those terms is so that people can understand that literally anybody, you see a need in your community, you see a need in, and I say community in Nigeria, you see a need wherever you are in Nigeria, or wherever you are in the world, but you can remember what's going on, you know exactly what's going on back home, and you can see a solution that you are able to bring about that can again bridge the gap, because like you said, a lot of the things that are happening are just, it's happening here, and they're really just not talking to each other. And
Hmm.
a lot of what Didiya platform is going to do is connecting vendors, connecting people who have the food with the people who would prefer to buy the food, but they can't get to it, before it goes bad. So I think that's powerful, and I think those are some of the solutions. I mean, solutions come in different ways, but that's definitely one way to sort of bridge that gap. And I want to thank you and your team. And I know you're going to talk to us more about some of the features and the things that people should expect on the platform in a bit. And I hope that we can have people asking questions, sharing this with other Nigerians, and just coming back and watching this to get to know you more. So tell us a bit about the future. So what you hope, at least in this first phase, because I know you've already launched, and I was at the launch, the virtual launch, which was excellent. Um, but tell us, what are some of the features, the first things that people should expect? Is this targeting individuals, families, or is this targeting the organizations, say like orphanages or first responders, like police or whoever, that sort of feed in bulk? And the next question would be about logistics. How do you intend to tackle logistics? Because we know how difficult, without having a national, delivery service or logistics service in Nigeria, how do you expect to tackle those issues?
Okay, I'm going to try to start from like the very first question, like more like what are the features to expect at this time. So
Yes.
at this time, I mean, if you get into www.mydidia.com, what you're going to see, it's basically like basic information about us, what we're doing, what we hope to achieve, our mission, our vision, our values, and what we are actually about. And then you're going to see like a wait list, and then the wait list is both for the users and the customers and then the
Hmm.
vendors. So our vendors are principally quick service restaurants, grocery stores, and agro producers. And then our customers are two-faced kind of customers. So we have like the individual customers, more like you and I and every other person. And then
Hmm.
we also have like the corporate customers who are like non-government organization, orphanages,
Hmm.
schools. So why is it important that we do this? So for instance, we did a survey on a very popular, we did a couple of them, but I'm going to talk about this specific one. So there's a very popular QSR, quick service restaurant in Nigeria.
Hmm.
It's a national brand. And we did
Okay.
a survey, and what we found out was very interesting. I got to speak with their manager. And then he told me that when he started working with the brand, what they used to do was that every day when they have like their surplus food, take note that surplus food is the same food that every other person eats the whole day.
Hmm.
So they sort of share this to like their staff, their staff
Yeah.
members. But that was not, I don't know whether to say that was not sustainable or that was causing some kind of rancor within the company. And then the company cut that off. And then they tried another thing. And then they said, okay, every day at the end of the day, we're going to sell this food as animal feed, more like people that run piggeries, people like need dog food, all of that kind of thing, animal feed. And then they will have like those animal feed guys come pick them up. But that was also causing problem as some of their staff members or kind of thing they were doing like some under the kind of table kind of arrangements. So they wanted to cut that all of that off. So what did they now propose? The company nationwide proposed that they want to waste every surplus food they have at the end of the day. They want to put them in the bin under camera. Yeah. I was blown away. Like, you want to put every food in the
That was the
bin at the
best solution. Under surveillance, we will
as
throw
I speak
out
to you,
all of.
that's still happening today. Like, it's not even this is not I'm not sharing history. It's still the practice today. Like, under camera, take notes so that you don't even play around
Right.
with it. This is a national brand. So think of it this way. So imagine the lost revenue that is going there. Now think of it this way. Think of the climate impact of this thing, because when you put this in the bin, where does it end up? It end up in the landfills. And food waste alone contribute 5% to greenhouse gas emission.
Yes.
So, and
It's
because you are
yeah.
also causing this climate issue, that means you as a brand, you're also going to spend more money on waste management. Now,
Exactly.
in the midst of this, there are 25 million people starving within the same environment that you are spending money on waste management and also trashing this food.
And trashing your food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are like the corporate, how we want to handle the corporate customer side of it. So that's it.
Hmm.
And then your next question was about logistics. Yeah. I mean, logistics is a challenging thing in Nigeria. We all know it. I mean, most of us know it. Let me not
Yeah.
presume. And how we thought about this, because we are thinking of the environmental impact of these food wastes and
Hmm.
also like the economic impact, but more on the environmental impact. So our platform is designed to take advantage of geolocation. So when you get onto the Didiya platform, that's the next part of the platform we are building now.
Hmm.
So say you sign up, you fill in your details, and then you want to search available stores. So you are not about to stay in maybe Uyo, and then we are showing you a store in Ukanafun, which is like a 40-minute drive from Uyo, or you're about to stay in Calabar, and we are showing you a store in Ibadan. That does not make any sense.
Right.
So we are leveraging geolocation, Google Map, to be able to like aggregate stores within like a certain radius from where you are. So you are
Mm-hmm.
basically just seeing stores within a certain radius. And so because of that approach, we are now doing like a walking approach. Because remember, this is like low hanging fruit. So we
Yes.
don't want you to, we have already negotiated a discount on the food. Say the food, instead of 1,000 naira, you have to buy it now for 500 naira.
Mm-hmm.
And then imagine you now spend another 500 naira on logistics.
On transport,
That
yeah.
defeats the aim of
The
what we're trying
purpose,
to
yeah.
achieve in the first place. So because of that, we are aggregating these our vendors within a particular geography and pairing them with users within that same geography. So you yourself can walk in, or you're just driving past, it's within your area, you can just drive past, grab your food from Didiya or from them, and you are good. So that's how we are handling logistics at this time. Of course, we are still innovating because it's like the low hanging fruits, because with time it gets way more than that. So we are
Mm-hmm.
innovating and also thinking deeper in that direction in a way that we can handle that, model a price approach to that does not defeat the aim of getting this food off you at a
Right.
subsidized rate, and you not spending so much money on logistics. So that's how we are approaching logistics at this time.
That, yes, that's really interesting. And I mean, I hope that the reason I brought you on here and the reason I'm happy that you gave us your time is because I think the more Nigerians have these live conversations or hear these live conversations from people like us, young people like us who are just trying. Because again, you need the cooperation of the consumers. You need the people to actually cooperate. Either go through DDS platform and see who's in their locality and go there to buy food at reasonable prices or discounted prices. I hope that they get to understand that this is really for us and we need the cooperation of everybody. It's not just the DDR team coming up with a good product and a good solution, but also you need adaptation as well. So, talk to us about that. How are you intending to educate the masses, I suppose, the people that you're targeting? How do you, especially in Akwa Ibom, because I'm okay, I know some people in media, or I know some companies that are trying to break into the Akwa Ibom market and the Akwa Ibom people, and we have a problem, unfortunately, with language barrier. So, do you have any intentions of, I don't know, broadcasting about DDR locally in local dialects, or what are your plans?
Okay, so at this time we are actually, I mean, I'm from Akwa Ibom, and then I got a bunch of people from my team like spread across all over the world, literally, because we have like team members in Europe, team members in US, team members in different states across Nigeria, Lagos. I know we have someone in Abuja, we have someone in Abia State, Aba, and all of that. So, I mean, of course, I'm from Akwa Ibom. So, what is the point I'm trying to make? So, we are, you can call it that, oh, the founder is from Akwa Ibom, but we are not just positioning like as an Akwa Ibom business. That can
Mhm.
be our low hanging fruit, as a matter of fact. So, but we are positioning as a global business. In any
Mhm.
way, we got to start from somewhere. So our approach to educating like our users at this time, we are leveraging like global platforms like social media, mostly LinkedIn, mostly Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, because like you rightly said, like user education is very important, because most people do not even know. So let me give you an example. I don't love yam. Every time I joke with my friend about yam, and like yam is for suicide, people that want to commit suicide. don't give don't give me yam. I'm sorry. Don't give me yam. I don't like yam. So back in the university, I mean, I was an average student, at least economically. So, but if you give me yam, I can be starving, but I'm not going to stand up to go cook yam. Yeah. I remember a particular situation where someone gave me yam. I don't know, maybe I think my uncle or something. Someone gave me yam, and then I brought the yam into my house in the university, left it in my kitchen. Do you know that the yam stayed there, grew stem, and the stem grew as far as getting getting to my roof, right in my kitchen, right there. Okay, someone said not the yam slander.
Not a
Yeah, I'm
yam
sorry.
slander. You can't slander yam
Yeah,
here.
no yam slander will be taken.
Like,
But what's my
I'm
point?
ready
So,
to fight.
so my point right now is that So even anybody is wasting food. So even when I didn't have food, I was wasting food. That's where I'm going.
Yes.
You get.
Yes.
So that yam that I thought I didn't like, it could have been food for some other person.
Mm.
So I could have just gone into Didiya. I'm like, okay, sign up as a vendor, and then this is like an individual vendor, and then upload the picture of my yam, and then based on my location, Didiya is going to capture that and then show it to people around my location, and they can just come grab that at a very ridiculous amount instead of that yam wasting away right in my kitchen. Back
Yeah.
to the whole idea of educating our users. So we are now helping our users to understand that first, food waste is a global problem. Like it's
Hmm.
a huge problem. Do you get? And 40% of produced food is wasted. It is ridiculous. I wouldn't believe it myself, but there is even a United Nations research that supports this. Because I'm like, but people are starving. How is 40% food wasting? But look
Yeah.
at that example I shared. Even me, I'm
Mm.
starving in my house, but I have food that is wasting in the same
Right.
house. Can you see
Yeah.
the logic there? So we are
Yeah.
helping to educate people to let them know that, hey, 40% of food is getting wasted. Hey, 25 million people are starving. So the idea is first to help people tune into the psychology of the fact that don't waste food. One. Two, if any situation ever warrants for you to waste food, be very conscious to know that there are people who need this food. Three, once you realize that there are people who need this food, the next question you want to ask yourself, so how do I get this food to these
To
people?
them. Yeah.
Welcome to Didiya. That's exactly what we're going to do. So we're giving you like that platform to say, okay, hey, put up this food here, and then we'll be able to get it across to these people. These people can be school.
Yeah.
Like, do you know that schools, talking about schools, like they are like bulk off stickers. So think of a grocery store or an agro
Mm.
producers. Like we are working with some farm somewhere in I think Econo. We're trying to have like a partnership with some farm somewhere in Econo or in some, I'm not so sure right now,
Hmm.
but it's within Akwa Ibom. So think of a farm like that that produces maybe rice, and then they have like maybe 5 bags of rice that is going to expire in the next 3 weeks.
Mm.
No individual is going to buy that because as an individual, I'm not going to be able to finish 5 bags of rice.
In
So,
3 weeks.
but orphanages, schools, like boarding schools, they cook in bulk. So we're going to say,
Exactly.
hey, why don't you come grab this and then use that to feed your because that is going to it's about to get wasted in the next 3 weeks.
Hmm.
So basically, user education, leveraging global platforms, leveraging influencers like Aidi, Tanndy, leveraging YouTube Live. Shout out to Aidi, leveraging YouTube Live. I mean, every mostly global platform that have our
Yes.
people. But of course, as we grow too, we have to like think in terms of inclusion. So inclusion will mean that we will now begin to say, okay, so how do we localize this global problem? So we can now
Hmm.
begin to say, okay, so what language speaks to our people more? Maybe
Yeah.
Chinese, maybe Ibibio, maybe Anang, maybe
You
Igbo,
started with
Keju.
Chinese. Gee, you
Well,
know
that was random. Maybe
that.
Hausa,
Yeah.
maybe those kind of things. So
Yeah.
that's it.
That's awesome, honestly. And I always say I'm excited to talk to all of my guests, but again, I am always excited to talk about solutions even more than the guests. So even as you are very yeah, VIP guest, I'm really excited at Didiya and the idea of Didiya and what you are building. Again, I will always root for anything that helps Nigerians. I will always root for Nigerians first. So this is putting Nigerians first, even though we are shooting for a global, audience, and
Mhm.
we're trying to connect food vendors and um, consumers around the world, right? Where whichever location you are, you can leverage on that location and reach out to the source in your locality. Even at that, but this is still putting Nigeria first because whatever you're going to be testing out, whatever prototypes are going to be running, it's going to be with the Nigerian market. And if it works, the Nigerian people get to benefit from this platform first. So that's something that is exciting and I support. And I hope that you will not be a stranger, that you'll keep coming back to this platform to tell us how, you know, things are going at Didia, as well as any other big plans that you have, any other big solutions that you have for the people of the world. um, and I'm really, really excited to get to call you my brother. So,
Mhm.
hey, congratulations, really.
Thank you.
Yes, congratulations. I think when it comes to food wastage, and just as a kid growing up, we I mean, there were times when we wasted food, right? There were times when it just you couldn't finish it and it had to be wasted. But also there were times when we had nothing to eat, right? And in those moments, you think of all the times that you used to waste food, and you honestly don't complain because you remember, right? But if we had platforms like this where you know that whenever you have surplus food, you don't have to waste it. You can make money from it, and at the same time, you could be saving another person from going hungry. That's a win-win situation in my book.
Mhm.
And at the same time, if you are starving, you know where you can go to get access to food within your means. So I really applaud this initiative, and I pray that you all will continue to have the strength and the fortitude to continue, because what you are building is going to help the world in some way.
Yep.
All right, now that we're done talking about Didi, I think we have about 20 minutes, 19 minutes. So we will be welcoming questions. If you have any questions for James about Didiya, please, this would be a good time to start asking those questions. Or if you have any contribution about food wastage, what experiences you've had, food crisis, whatever contribution you want to have, this would be a wonderful time to bring that up. In the meantime, check the description of this video and you will see the wait list to my DDI. You can go on there and sign up as a vendor, or you can sign up as an individual. You've heard everything that the founder has spoken about, and hopefully, whenever they have another round of lunch or big event, I can get to tell you about it, and he can come on here and tell us so we can go celebrate with the DDI team.
Mhm.
But yeah, in the meantime, let's see if we're going to have any questions. And if we don't have any questions, let's talk about T-Pain.
What is that? Come on.
I just found out.
I think
Oh,
so. I think
are
people, are you looking at your comments?
yes, I just saw a good question for you, James, founder of DDI. Are you single, James? James, are you single?
what's, what's going
Uh,
on?
what's James, excuse me, this platform, have you not heard? When you come to ID Tandy's platform, you can get a husband, you
Are
can
you,
get a job,
you
okay,
planning to
you get
set me up right here?
educated.
You
So
didn't
James,
tell me you're planning to set me up right here.
James, are you single? I had no idea this was coming your way. This is a good thing. So you
Kingdom
think
woman. Why is a kingdom woman asking this kind of question instead of asking how we'll go to heaven?
also you don't even know which kingdom. So be calming down. You don't know which kingdom, okay? But
Okay, I'm not single.
you're not, what does that mean? Like, are you married? Or because if you are in a relationship, that's that's neither here or there.
I'm just there. I'm not
Yeah,
single.
you're not single,
I'm not
but
single. Yeah.
somebody cannot claim you as
But
their
I'm not
man.
married, actually. I'm not married, but I'm not single.
Okay, well,
Someone
there
wants
you
to
go.
claim me?
Kingdom woman.
The person can claim from Didi. I mean, we can
The
start from
person
there.
can claim, okay, so you can kingdom woman. Unfortunately, James is not single, but if you went over to my DDR, shit, you'll meet a lot of single vendors. But yeah, no, he's not single. Oh, that's my manager, by the way, saying you can get everything good here. He's been a great support to this venture. And he's also a son of the soil that hopefully one day I'll bring him on here to talk about what he's doing.
So people can get married here, Heidi?
I mean, I guess
Oh,
hey,
well.
they're
Okay,
fighting
I'll
on
be
it.
back. Thank you.
I'm just here to do God's work, okay? I'm just
No, no,
so
no. I'm with you, sis. I'm with you, sis. Why not?
okay. So, well, if you guys have any more questions about James's personal life or um about Didier, please turn this into an video log connection.
Guys, that's so funny.
How? I mean, James, can you can still speak. He's not Ibibio. He's Anan, so you
Yeah,
can still
definitely.
speak
Did you
Anan.
understand me? Why not?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's say something in Anan and Ibibio.
And you never find like this platform. And you make am parang.
I didn't even know what.
I like Aidi. I know my Anang turns you on. You confess that both publicly
I
and in
know.
private.
No, yeah, no. I'm not
So
even
yes,
hiding it. Every time you speak Anan, I feel like I melt away. My heart just
there we
melts.
go.
Just shattered. See, I could not stop blushing. I was just
See
laughing.
that? You see that?
Yeah, and I think I know why. It's because if you're speaking Ibibio, in contrast, Ibibio is very it's very
Yeah.
like a fighting language almost. Like we're going for
I know
war.
it's just
Like
yeah.
we're going to jump you. That's how Ibibio sounds.
Yeah.
And then Anam is very like feminine and very soft. I like that.
I think I want to learn Fulani.
Okay.
Is that okay? Really okay? Or is it the okay? You just okay now? Is it really okay?
Okay. 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 I mean,
Okay.
okay. I really wish you all the best. I really do. I
Yeah.
mean,
Someone put on his WhatsApp status today, and it's like, I hope we agree that the most beautiful girls, women in Nigeria are Fulani. So maybe.
I
But
mean,
let's stay on
I'm
Didia.
sitting here right in front of you, so I don't know what you're talking about. Like,
Like I
I'm
said,
not from
let's stay on
Fulani.
Didia.
Like, excuse me, bruh.
Let's
Okay,
not go into that conversation.
let's not because what? Also, some people have just never left Fulani land, and that's okay.
Yeah, that can be a bias. Yeah, that
I
can be a
mean,
bias too. Yeah,
yeah, my father's backyard was the biggest one until I left, and I was like, "Ooh, it is
right. I
small."
mean,
No, it's
we've
not
all
that
been
big.
there. We've all been there, done that.
Oh my god. But
Yeah,
thank you so much, Kola. Yes, Ibibia women are
I agree.
number
Yes,
one.
yes. ID 001.
I-
Although, anyway, I won't say what I was about to say now. She didn't. She
listen.
didn't invite me to a sake show. She went alone.
Oh my
That's
god, that
that's
was such a good show. And that was my first Nigerian concert. Like, actually, that was my first Afrobeat concert ever.
yeah, fun,
So that was a big deal. It
right?
was it was a lot of fun.
Don't
I
mind
have
me.
so
I'll
many.
I'll rather sleep than go out. I talk
Really?
I talk I talk about going out more than I actually go out.
Oh, I
Have
know
you
what you
met that kind of
mean.
person that
I
talks about
know.
going out more than they go out?
Yeah, I know
that's
because
that's me.
I'm the person that I work on Friday. Like, I'm hyping everybody up. I'm like, yeah, da 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 is going to happen over the weekend. Da, da, da. Make sure you don't do anything I would not do. Meanwhile, when it comes to my turn, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm going to sleep.
That's it.
I'm
That's it.
I'm
That's
just
my
going
WhatsApp
to.
group. That's my WhatsApp group.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Thank you so much, James, for hanging with me today. We don't have any more personal questions or questions regarding Didier, but I do hope that they will have more questions when you come on here next. Um, in the meantime, guys, please check the description below. It's really not a lot of steps. All you need to do is click on the link and sign up to join the wait list. I think you only have to put your email address to
Yeah, just
join
your
the
name
wait.
and your email and we're good.
Yeah, and that's really all you have to do. If you don't have any need to buy surplus food, that's okay. Just sign up in case tomorrow somebody that might have a need for it, and you can easily point them to Didia. Again, this is our thing. This is for Nigerians, and like it or not, whether you support us or you do not support us, these things are going to move forward, and the gates of hell will not prevail against the church. Amen.
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 Yeah. Thank you,
um,
Heidi.
yeah. Thank you so, so much. And I wish you all a wonderful week ahead. And come back and hang with me next week.
Of
Um,
course.
yeah.
Man, we can always put that together.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Let me know if you have any last words you want to say to our viewers. And
Yeah. I mean, just to appreciate you for putting this together. I mean, pushing for this. I know we have been trying to do this, like it's not even about Didiya. Even before Didiya even came around, we've been saying, oh,
yeah,
we should hang out on YouTube live. We should talk about like live, just talk about things. More
yeah.
like the conversations we have on our phone, we can
I
actually have it
know.
on YouTube live, and it's going to benefit like
Yes,
a larger audience, kind of.
yes,
So I like it that we're able to finally pull this together, and then it also happened at the time when we're just not talking about every other thing, but we had like Didiya to talk about. So I
yes.
like that, and shout out to you. I mean, you are so sweet, Aidi. I really appreciate it. And shout out to shout out to everyone that took time to join us here. It means a lot. Short notice, just coming out, stopping by, seeing what's going on. Hope you guys are following the YouTube channel, because I'm come here over and over again, hang out with ID. I mean, okay, so let's all our calls on the phone. Let's have it on all our
I know. Let's
FaceTiming.
do that. Like, guys, seriously.
Let's move
I've
all
been
our
trying to
FaceTime
bring
into.
I've been trying to bring James on my YouTube for the longest. Like, honestly, on the phone when we are talking, like the conversations we have, you want to be a part of it. You really
Yeah,
want to be a part of it.
yeah.
So,
Let's bring our FaceTime in here.
yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, so yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for hanging with us. Thank you, Lawrence. Yes, you can come back. I come on live every Sunday. However, I have a guest on with me every other Sunday. So if you come on here and you don't see any guests, that probably means it's the solo show. And if you come on here and you can request to say something, um, or you can request a mic to come on with me when it's a solo show. And then every other show, I come on here with a guest and we talk about solutions that Nigerians are doing for Nigerians, young people, young Nigerians. Okay, gone are the days when we just sit back and we blame the government for everything. No, there are young Nigerians who are doing things to help, who are doing things in their little corners, and we need to shine as much light as we can on the things they are working on. We need to support them and show them they're not alone, that it's okay. We are here for them, and we'll continue to push for a better Nigeria. So, yes, until next week. Bye.
Bye. Peace out.
Bye, guys.
All right.
Bye.